I want to say good morning, but actually, it's good afternoon, right? Oh my goodness. It has been a morning. It has been a morning for sure. So if you're on, say hello. I am trying to get on here and share this around. I have a new computer, okay? KKK. New computer. So, boy, it would not pick up my camera. It wouldn't do any of those things. So, here I am, 12 o'clock. Yeah, this would be me coming on. So, if you're here, say hello, please. Let me know you're here, and then I'm not talking to myself. But if I am talking to myself, that's okay too. I do that a lot. It's all good. It's all good. So let me see if I can actually see the comments, which would be wonderful. Let me redo these here. Pull the mic closer. Bib. Okay, well, I'm seeing some love, but that would be from Bib. Yeah, okay. So okay, here we go. All right. So at least we're seeing those. All right. So if you're coming on here late and you're like, I guess Molly's not coming on today, I get it. I get it. Some of you down south are getting snow. Oh my gosh, getting snow. Y'all can have it, okay? You can have the snow. Had enough here in North Carolina, for sure. Frog in my throat today. For sure, I thought that when I left Maryland, I was done with all that, right? Thought I was done with all that snow, and then it decided to show me something a little different and say, no, we're going to give you more snow. That's what we're going to do. And so now I'm seeing that some of my people in down in New Orleans and the rest, y'all are getting snow. Texas, you're seeing more snow than ever. Um, so wow. So if you're loving it, enjoy it. But you can have it because I don't want it. It's all good. It's all pretty when it comes down. And then not so pretty. Not so pretty when it's going, when people have ran all over it and it's dirty and you got to shovel it and it turns to ice and all of that. But it is pretty when it comes down. I will admit that for sure. So if you're just seeing this, welcome, welcome. We are back to our Molly's Moments with Jesus. We again have been Liza, who is absolutely wonderful, seeing beauty again. And this one definitely hits home for a lot of people, like being a friend, how to be a friend. Um, I love this one. It said 5 things to say to a friend today. And I have been trying to reach out to people that I have not been in connection with. I feel like 2024, some of it is like a blur. Hey, Joy, good to see you. Hi, Rosie, good to see you too. I feel like some parts of 2024 were like crazy, and I mean, I guess every year is that way. You feel stressed, you feel happy, there are things to laugh about. You start here and you even out and you dip and you're like, oh my gosh, and then you come back up. And I mean, that is absolutely how life is. It is anybody who just has a well balanced life, get out of here. You're not human. If you're just balanced all the time and bad stuff never happens and you're not losing people in your life and your kids are perfect, which we all know is not true, and you feel like your marriage is perfect and everything is great, but I find that sometimes the people who suffer in all of that, when you're going through it or when I'm going through it, are friends. The friends suffer. Sometimes the friends are there. Sometimes when you're going through stuff, people don't know how to help you. They don't even know what to say. They don't know what to do to reach out. And I've watched that in so many different places. Before I Avon let me go, and there were people that I let my feelings get massively hurt by because they didn't reach out, and it made me feel like they weren't really true friends, or and not that anybody had to agree with anything, but then there were some people who like just went dog silent, right? And I realized that sometimes people just struggle, that they don't know what to say. They don't know what to say when things are bad. They don't know what to say to people when they lose people. They don't know what to say when there is a big life change. Just so you know, sometimes it's not what you say, it's just showing up. It's just showing up. Um, when I moved down here to North Carolina 5 years ago, hey Janice, good to see you. It was hard on my family. Let me be honest, completely hard on my family. Um, all right, are we back here? Gosh, that was crazy, wasn't it? I was like, oh my gosh, that was big time crazy. Like all of a sudden, everything just went. I was like, whoa, what happened? Hold on here. There we are. Okay. So I just did, it just, I think my internet was just spacing out a little bit, guys. So it's all good. Hey, Charlene, I noticed you were live. Just going to be able to stay on, okay, 15 or 20 minutes in between my jobs. Girl, I know that in between jobs thing for sure. So that's crazy. Um, when I moved down here, it was hard on my family because for 50 something years, right? Like almost 60 years of my life, I have absolutely like been there, like I mean in person, been there for like everything in my family. um and it was hard for me too, right? But I needed a change. I needed to go someplace where economically it made more sense. There had been a whole lot that happened in my life, and I got to tell you that it just sometimes you just need a fresh start. You do. Doesn't mean you don't love people. Doesn't mean you don't want to be around them. You just need a fresh start. Um, let's do this. Hold on, guys. We're gonna do something right now. Yeah. Don't you love it? Hey guys, block that guy. Block that guy who's coming on and trying to talk to everybody. Hey Dave Anthony, get off my live stream. You need Jesus. Can I just say, quit hitting on my friends? They don't want no part of you, Dave Anthony. You go find Jesus and then you come back, okay? Do that. Oh my goodness, that makes me laugh. So we are going to report this comment. How about that, guys? We're going to report. Um, that's what we're going to do. And we're going to submit that. How about that? That's what we're going to do. So funny. These people, I'll tell you, we get them all the time, and it seems like every time one of them comes on, what do? They come on and they think that my friends are stupid enough to take all this in, right? Dave, get out of here. Everybody tell Dave, get out of here. Block him. Block him, y'all. Just block him. That's what you need to do. Block him. Tell him, go away. Go away. I'm gonna block him right now so he can't come on and talk to you guys anymore. How about that? So take that, Dave. You've been blocked now. Now you're really gonna need Jesus. You're gonna need him for sure now, okay? So yeah, okay, so we took care of him. He's gone. Um, but I believe being a friend can be easier. Can be easier. And I think that when I read this yesterday, five things to say to a friend today, um, this really spoke to me. You know, this comes from the verses Romans 12 and 13. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Share with the Lord's people who are in need, practice hospitality. Listen, when we're all full of joy, it's great, right? Be joyful in hope. Where there is hope, find joy. Patient in affliction. Sometimes people are not going to show up when there is affliction. Be patient. Be patient. Be patient with them. Sometimes people want to close themselves off. Be patient with them. You're not walking in their shoes. So be patient. That's a way to show them love. Faithful in prayer. Guys, pray. Pray for other people. You know, quit praying for everything you want and pray for what other people need. We all have people. We all have people um, who have sickness in their life. They have just lost people recently. My heart was just literally just broken. I heard that we lost Karen Smith um, a couple of weeks ago. Young, young, beautiful. had a, has a beautiful little girl and a wonderful family who loved her. And boy, you talk about life is short, man. Short. 35 years old. 35 years old. And we let people get away from us. Karen and I had not talked probably for about 7 months, maybe a little bit longer than that. We met each other through Avon. I knew her mom, Sophia, um, who talked about mailbox money when I first came to Avon. And that's when we all got our leadership checks like in the mailbox. So you got mailbox money, and she'd say she'd go out on a certain day, and she knew the money would be there. Karen was her little girl, Randy's little girl, and um, when Sophia passed, Karen kind of took over her business, her and Randy, and Karen was kind of the forefront of it. And Karen was so much fun. I remember the Hawaii trips and um, so many of the earned incentives, and she was always at the pool with us, hanging out, and kind of was like that adopted daughter thing on the trips. Like I always felt like I needed to watch out after her, like make sure no guys was hitting on her, that kind of thing. Even though she may have wanted them to, who knows? But Lee and I just loved her. And when we lost her, and I just I couldn't even imagine what Randy and Zach and the rest were going through, Jeff. Couldn't imagine. Can't even say I know. I've never lost a child. Um, but what I do know is for the time that she was here, man, she brought a lot of love into the world. When she was here, she had this bright smile. I remember that when I was given the Yellow Rose of Courage, which that award started with Sophia, her fight with ALS, and I remember that Karen was one of the first people there, and she was so happy that I had won that award, and she just grabbed me and said, I love you. I can't think of anybody who deserves this more, and I can just remember what a fun, fulfilled time that was back when the company was just a whole nother company, to be honest. It just really was. And the events were different. And the awards were different. And there was just so much love. Everybody was just there for each other. And man, oh man, it just, she was a blessing. If you knew her, you knew what a blessing she was. So, Karen, I know that you are up in heaven with Mama, and you're probably living a much better life than we are here right now, sis. But we're gonna miss you. We're gonna miss you. So let me say that. And for anybody else who's lost somebody, recently, I need you to know that, man, it's hard. Even when we know they're in a better place, it is so hard. Hey, Raj, I see you. Thanks for showing up. Raj, I'm late. Man, I got a new computer. I couldn't get my camera to work. Raj, I was so close to just cussing. Okay, I need you to know that. I know I'm a Christian who cusses a little. I know it, but Raj, it was rough. It was so rough. I just was ready to take the whole thing and throw it out the door. I was. But it's okay. We overcame. We overcame. We figured it out, Lee and I, tried to be patient because I'm the most impatient person. I just want something to work. I want it to work when it's supposed to work. And when it doesn't work, I don't like it. And I was just like, forget the whole thing. Bring me back my old computer. That was me. That was me. But all good. Thanks, Raj. I appreciate you. So let's talk real quick. Let's talk about being a friend. And if you're watching this on replay, make sure that you do hashtag replay. Let me know you were here. Um, if you come on in your live, say hi. Even if you don't like me, say hi. I won't know any different. I think because you're on here, you do like me. So it's okay. It's all right. Jess. See, Jess, he doesn't get it all from his dad. There's that hidden thing in me, Jess, that says, I'm just going to throw it out the door if it doesn't work. Ah! Yeah, that's me sometimes. It is. Not all the time, but let me tell you, the struggle has been real trying to go from I've had Dells all my life, never had a Mac, never had an Apple, and everything is so different. And I promised myself I was going to be patient and be very grateful for this opportunity and this experience. But I'm so used to clicking something and it just works. This was not good for me, okay? This was not good for me. But I'm not going to let it steal my joy, okay? I almost said I'm not even doing this. I'm not going to do this today because I'm already an hour and a half late. This thing is not working. I'm not having it. It must not be made for it. And Jesus said, stop it. Get on there and do the thing that I have given you to do. Get on there and tell people about friendship. So here I am. Hey, Melody. I love you. Melody says, I like you. It's all right. Melody, I know. But there are some who don't. There are them quote unquote haters, right? Right. We deal with them all the time. And I love you too, Janice. Thanks for being on here, babe. So let's talk about this real quick. Now, this is from Liza, so hear this. She says, I remember sitting in the smelly middle school gym like it was yesterday. I'd survived the awkward and much dreaded moments of changing into my PE uniform in the girls' locker room. Do you remember that? Do any of you remember like not liking gym? And you would have to put on these stupid gym outfits yeah. Well, let me tell you something. I went to a private school where we had to wear culottes because it was a Christian school and you couldn't wear pants, you couldn't wear shorts because Lord knows I don't know what would happen to you, but something was going to happen to you. So we had these things called culottes, which I will forever, if Carla Hobbs gets on here, she was my best friend in school. We both felt the same way about culottes and we never ever wanted to wear them again. Now she could have changed her stance on that. I will never change my stance on that. I would rather burn them and run around and scare everybody in my underwear than to ever wear culottes again. That's all there is to it. Hey, Gwenda, good to see you. 12 degrees. No, baby. No, baby. No, baby, we don't need that. Hi, Nita. I see you too. Thanks for being here. But yeah, gym uniforms, and no matter what, if most people didn't like gym, and look, I was sports oriented. I loved softball, played it, was really good at it. Volleyball, loved it, really good at it. For my height, 6 foot, you would think I loved basketball. Couldn't stand basketball, but I did like some sports. But Jim was a whole different animal with the stupid stuff. They wanted me to climb ropes and all of the, and I'm just like, no, no. And then they wanted you to do it in these gym outfits, and I'm like, stop it, just stop it. So not a good experience. She says, and now I sat on the hard bleachers, listening to the squeak of tennis shoes, the uneven cadence of bouncing balls, the teacher's sharp whistle, and the girls laughing behind me. Boy, do I remember that too. I know now I can tell you guys, don't worry about them. Don't worry about people. Let them laugh. Let them talk. Let them. School was a whole different deal, man. I was the tall, lanky girl and had a mom who was not going to let me grow up before my time, thankfully. Thankfully. But back then, I wasn't thankful for it. You know what I'm saying? You're not thankful for what you know you want to do. Mama was not going to let me wear pantyhose when everybody else was in the 5th grade, okay? Mama was not going to let me wear makeup when it was not time for me to wear makeup. It was not going to be that. Like, Mama gonna make sure my body was covered up when the rest of them were wearing things a little tight. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you. It was not fun, and because I wasn't, I know you're not gonna believe this. Let me let you know something. I was not the cool kid in school. Okay, I was not. I'm not the cool kid now. I'm the weirdo who just gets out here and does it, right? But, but I was not the cool kid in school. I mean, I was a good student and I got decent grades because if I didn't, my mama would have tanned my hide. The teachers all seemed to like me, but that didn't sit well with other kids. I wanted friends, and I had one really good friend, and that was Carla. And that was Carla. And she really was. But, my mom got sick when I was in my senior year or going into my senior year and with cancer. And man, I withdrew from everybody when that happened. For a couple of months, I was out of school because I took care of my mom at home. And but when I went back, life was so different. And yeah, and I just didn't care about people or anything. And I even locked Carla out of my life too. It was a hard, hard life. We had to change the t-shirts and shorts. I hated it and skipped out when I could, Karen says. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. You're always the cool one. Raj, I swear to you, I was not, dude. I mean, even my pictures, I look back and I go, what was I thinking? Or better than that, what was mom thinking? What was mom thinking? The hairstyles. I mean, y'all wonder why I got some wild hairstyle now where it goes all over the place. Do you wonder why? Because when I was in school, it had to just be right and proper and brushed and this, that. And mama didn't know then that I was going to have this free spirit, that I just needed to be who I wanted to be. And I just didn't want anybody to tell me to tell me what I was going to do, right? Hey, Carol, good to see you. Good to see you, friend. So, here we go. The girls were laughing behind me. They weren't laughing with me. That would have meant I was accepted, wanted, invited in to be a part of the group. No, they were laughing at me. Can I tell you, as a kid in school, there is nothing worse than being that kid who, and if you were a cool kid in school, look, I'm not slamming at you, but kind of I am. But I'm not, but kind of I am, okay? Kids don't know better than you want to be part of the. I wanted to be part of the cool kids, but I wasn't. And I think there was a time when I would have done just about anything to be in the cool kids. I realized, though, later on that part of what makes me so accepting of people now and why I loved on people and my company and in my life that most people would go, why are you like giving them the time of day? And I would say, because there was a time when nobody gave me the time of day. There was a time when I was not the cool kid ever. And man, like I remember they gave me homecoming queen, right? But that was my senior year. And can I say they didn't just pick one queen, they picked two. It was me and look, my friend Devat. I loved Devat Lattimore. I did. I loved her so much. I think they thought that it was going to help me when they picked me. I think that the teachers and everybody did because my mom had died and it was such a blur. And I remember when I made homecoming queen that I cried, but what they didn't know is I wasn't crying because I got homecoming queen. I was crying because my mom wasn't there. And life was just so crazy and so imbalanced. And everything was just not as it should be in my life. So I feel this when she says they were laughing at me. I was the subject of their gossip. I was the punchline of their jokes, and it hurt. I imagine you know that hurt too. Change the scenery and the people, and this same hurt can be found in most of our lives. When your coworkers all make plans to go to lunch, but you weren't invited. When the other preschool mom says, several of us moms are concerned with how aggressive your child seems to be on the playground. When everyone else's social media makes marriage look dreamy and uber romantic as you're crying yourself to sleep. Mm. See? It's not just what happens in your childhood. Do you think that feeling alone or left out doesn't happen as we get older? And somehow or other you think it doesn't hurt when you're left out or you're forgotten? After being accepted into the Cool Kids Club for 20 years in Avon, I suddenly was not when I made another decision. When I made a decision that was a financial decision to take care of my family, I suddenly wasn't cool with the cool kids. But you know what? I was cool with the kids who completely got it. I was cool with the kids who understood that if I didn't make a move, I wasn't going to have a roof over my head, that I wasn't going to be able to take care of my brother's wife and be able to supply for my husband and I. And my husband and I talked about it all the time. But there were people who do get it. And I immediately figured out, and many of you know who you are, exactly who my friends were. That they were all the people that I had always given time to. They were always the people that I always did the live streams for. That they were always the people who showed up in Onward no matter what. Because I decided that even the cool kids weren't always so cool. That I decided that rather it was the kids who weren't so cool, or the kids who hadn't done as well, or the people who weren't the ones who were celebrated, but they decided to be celebrated. There were people who thought that people on their team were not worthy of help. And I figured out that everybody was worthy of help. Everybody was worthy of being loved in the business. Everybody was worthy to be told and sharing how you got through life and how you got through business, and that it was going to be hard and it was going to be a struggle. And those kids soon knew me as Mama Molly. And even when the business wasn't for them, they stayed around because they still felt like they belonged. Because it wasn't about what company you were part of. It was about the fact that you were a part of something and you felt loved. On the other hand, there are also those beautiful moments when a friend steps in with a gentle smile and a few simple words of encouragement, and suddenly you're not alone. So many of you did that for me in 2024 and said, no worries, we get you, we love you, and we know that whatever you're doing is good for you. And that's what's most important. I want to be that friend for you today. Through this devotional, we've spent a lot of time diving into our stories so we can move forward as healthy and whole people. But there's another step. See, we can use our healing perspectives to create healing opportunities for others. So many times people have said to me, I don't understand, Molly, why do you share? Most people on Facebook, all they share is how great everything is. Oh my gosh, business is so great. My marriage is great. My kids are great. Look at my picture of my loving family. We were just hating each other 5 minutes ago, but when they said say cheese, we did, and it was wonderful, and here we are. And our family is here to look perfect so that you will realize just how messed up your family is, right? Right. So how you feel sometimes when you look at that, the perfect couple, oof, the Facebook filter, even when you're using no filter, that life is just great and grand. It's not. But I was the person that when life wasn't, I figured, hey, if you're going to be my friend, you deserve to know the good, the bad, and the ugly. So when I got cancer, I shared it with you. And as many of you will go, you were so brave. The ones who truly watched the whole story knew I was not brave. They knew I was scared to death. They knew my anxiety was off the charts. They knew that one day I was great and the next day I was falling apart. They knew that when I had to start door dashing again because funds were low and business was not good, they knew that there were some days where I was like, my gosh, I am so grateful that this opportunity to be able to do this will still work with what I'm doing too. I'm so grateful. And yet there were other days I was out there like, and it shouldn't be this way. I hate doing this. Why am I delivering people food? I shared it all. Always. Do you know why? Because you need to know that even I have bad days. That even I am not always grateful. That even I, as much as I say I will trust the Lord, there are times I was like, I trust you if you're going to go the way I want you to go, God. Let's do it. And through all of that sharing, what you figure out is who your friends are. Who your friends are. And that's not a bad thing. But see, I was hurt, angry, didn't care, wanted to flip them the bird, right? That kind of thing. I was all the things. I was all the things all the time. And I know you could tell because you could read it through my posts, right? Like, like I just am like, I know. And yet I could come back the next day after reading my Bible that morning and go, man, thank you, Lord. This is what I needed. Because yesterday I was a hot mess and I was like, what are you doing? Yeah. But if I didn't do that, you would think that you were not worthy and that, you just want to be perfect because all you ever saw with me was perfect. And there is a whole lot more of imperfect here than there is perfect. But what I wanted to be able to do is maybe in a sense establish friendships, but just to let you know that when you do come on here, when we do talk, that you're not alone. And although I can't fix it, nobody deserves to be alone in a moment of need. And there were people who talked their smack about me, about Lee, about what we were doing. And I knew it and I had seen it. But yet they came to me in private and said, "Can you pray for me about this? I know you have a prayer list. Can you pray for me about this? Or Molly, what do you think about this? Or can I get your advice about that?" Do you know the first thing I wanted to do? Oh, you're coming to me now? I know what you think I don't know, but I know that you don't think I know, but I know, right? I know. Yeah. Luckily, on those days, God said, "Be better. Be a friend, Molly. Be a friend today, even if they didn't want to be your friend the other day." And when I saw that somebody was struggling and they put it on Facebook, and the first thing that the devil wants me to do is say, "Don't pray for them. Why would you pray for them? They were just talking smack about you. They sent you a screenshot in that group. They don't know you know. So just don't pray for them. Don't want the best for them." God was over here going, "Really? That really who you want to be? Do you want to be what hurt you so bad? No. People who are supposed to be on your side, and they are, you want them to root for you. You want them to root for you so badly. And I keep hearing my mom say, "Molly, you've just got to keep killing them with kindness." And I would say, "But Mom, it's killing me to be kind to them because they don't truly like me. They don't truly want me in their life. Why do I have to be nice to them? Why do I have to pray for them? They don't care about me. They only care what they can get from me." And yet I heard her saying it again, over and over again. Kill them with kindness, Molly. Because in the end, when you're putting your head on your pillow, your heart was where it needed to be. And you can love anybody who gets it all right. It's loving the people who are doing you wrong, whether you know it or not. That is where the real blessing from God comes from. Yeah, baby, it's not. Praying for your enemies ain't for the weak. Isn't that the truth? So let's talk about this. I want to be that friend for you today. Can I challenge you with what I believe are the 5 best things one can say to a friend? That's what we're going to talk about real quick. And then might you give the gift of saying these things to a friend? This list is from the verses I read earlier, Romans 12 through 13, okay? Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer, share with the Lord's people who are in need, practice hospitality. Number 1, this is what you can say. You're wonderful. Romans 12:12 says, "Be joyful in hope." You're wonderful. The world is quick to tell us all the ways that we fall short, right? We are hyper aware of our faults and frailties. I mean, I can tell you, you don't got to tell me where I'm wrong. You don't got to tell me where I fail because nobody will ever beat me up as badly as I beat myself up. So, what a precious gift to remind a friend of specific ways that they're a wonderful friend, a wonderful mom, that they have a wonderful life. that they're a wonderful coworker, a wonderful person. This will be more than just a compliment. This is helping infuse a little joy into their hope. I was speaking with a friend yesterday who was having a really tough time, felt like she's being a really lousy mom, felt like she was always getting things wrong. And as I sat there talking to her, I said, "So when do you recognize what you do right? When do you realize that what you're seeing now is one thing, but there's this whole pile of things that you've done that make you a wonderful mom? And in the end, when you're saying that you want to be perfect, you're never going to get perfection. But when you know that you're being your absolute best, that's all that God asks for." And by the way, God didn't spend all that time on you for you to beat yourself down, because my goodness, He loves who you are. So why not just be your best? But I'm pretty sure He knew that you weren't going to get it all right. The second thing that you can say to somebody is very simple. Me too. Very simple. Me too. That takes care of the patient and affliction part. What a blessing to remind a friend that we all have hurts. We all have faults. We all have afflictions. And we all have really, really tender places in our life. We all get sick both emotionally and physically. We all fall down. The patient friend freely gives grace because she so desperately needs it herself. I think it's one of my favorite things to say at 61 years old. Don't forget to show yourself some grace in hard times. Me too acknowledges I'm no better than you, but together, we are stronger. It's such a loving and disarming admission that we're all in this together. Sometimes I love it when people bring me things in private or even out loud, and they go, "Oh, but I can't believe, man. You don't get it, Molly. I did this." And I'm like, "Girl, I've been there. Can I tell you about the time?" At 61 years old, there isn't a whole lot that you can share with me that I probably haven't been through or experienced. Some, but not a lot. And the reason that I can sit here right now and do what I'm doing is because God's given me the ability to embrace all those things that I have done wrong, all those times I have fallen, all those times I've failed, all those times I've said the wrong thing, all those times I've done the wrong thing, all the times I've done it scared, all the times something hasn't worked and I've had to start over, all the times I've had to walk away or be kind to people who were talking about me. I have been there. The broken kids, the broken divorce, the broken marriages, the problem in marriages, the problem about things that I could, hey, losing weight, come on, making sure I make my health a priority. There is not much cancer, losing parents, losing people. I get you. Me too. I feel you. You do not own the medal for bad things that happen to people. It feels that way sometimes, right? But you don't own it. And we have too many people who are too proud, who don't share what they've been through. Do you know the big secret here? If you're still here, you made it through. And if you're in the midst of it, you're still here. You'll make it through. Because with God, anything is possible. Together is always better. So, me too. Number 3, I'll pray. This is faithful in prayer. Wouldn't it be wonderful to tell a friend every time you see a specific color, object, or number that you'll use it as a reminder to pray for them? And when you do, shoot her a quick text letting her know. I have got a friend right now who is battling breast cancer. She's been in my life 20 years, and I love her dearly. I recently, over Christmas, found out that she is battling breast cancer. Friday, she started a package of 12 new treatments. She loves my goodies. She loves my honey bun cake. And I had sent her one over the holidays. And now every time I fix something dessert-wise, I reach out to her. Sometimes it could be like 5 times a week, right? Because I realized that I got so busy that I had not reached out to her in quite a few months. So last night we had our Bible study with our neighbors, and it was my turn to cook. So I cooked a tater tot casserole. So good, but so easy, right? But it's also comfort food. It's not the best stuff for you, but it was good and it was easy, and I needed easy. But I also fixed brownies, and they were so good. So when I got home from Bible study last night, I texted her and said, "Hey, girl, just checking on you." And I said, "Look, I need you to get through these 12 treatments, because when you do and you get the good word, I'm going to send you my devil's food, honey bun cake." And she said, "I didn't even know there was a devil's food." And I said, "Oh, yeah, I have perfected it. Oh, yeah." But Liza's right. A specific color, object, or number you'll use to remind you to pray for her, because that's what I did before I reached out. I said, "God, you know her needs and you know her family needs. Please get her through these treatments. Please get her through these treatments without a bunch of sickness. Please, God, heal her." But at the same time, I can talk to God about her, but I needed to share some Mama Molly with her, right? So I reached out just to check on her because of the brownies. So that's my thing now. When I'm fixing something sweet, I'm like, yep, it's time to check on her. Time to see how she's doing. Number 4, I'll share. When we notice a need in a friend's life, might we be willing to step in and be part of the solution? Recently, I had a friend whose wedding plans to elope were canceled during COVID-19. My family pulled our resources together and had a small wedding plan for them in 8 hours. It wasn't the perfect day they envisioned, but we showed up for them in the best way we could to make their day beautiful. I love that. And us just simply seeing the need and sharing what we had to make her day special made the sweetest memories for her. She even later wrote in a post on her social media, "It was the most magical day." Sometimes, just show up. Just show up for somebody. Do you know, on my worst days, personally, when I show up for others, I don't know, it's like an endorphin or something. I can show up for others and it makes me feel better, because for that moment, I'm not worried about what I'm going through. I'm worried about helping that person. So sometimes that can be something that really helps. And number 5, come over. Practice hospitality. Welcoming a friend inside the sacred space of our home is such a needed gesture. There's just something about relationships that are less pixelated when we get eye to eye, voice to voice, and talk, really talk. Over broken bread, we share broken hearts, and then we celebrate the parts of us that are still intact. We reach across the table and across our differences to grab hold of the glorious bond of friendship. I found as we purposely ease the loneliness ache in others, we can see it is beautifully eased in us. There's nothing better than opening my door to people I love. In August, many of my girls in Market America um, came and stayed with me. It was crazy, can I say? It was crazy. It was crazy. But it was so cool at the same time. I cooked and we drove down to Greensboro to Icon, which is our conference down there, every single day. And they all stayed, or a few of them were able to stay an extra day or so because they were driving. And we just sat around underneath blankets and the air conditioning and eating food and eating dip and just loving on one another and taking in every single day. And I know that's not always possible, right? But there is something to be said for it. That's why when somebody's in the area, or, I'm always telling people, when are you going to come down here? I have room now for people. When are you coming to see me? Because there isn't anything better still. I love social media. Y'all know I'm a social media hoe. You know that. I'm always on social media. I love social media, right? Love it. Love sharing. But boy, do I love hugging the necks of people that I love and being able to share my love language of cooking and give them a place to lay their head and just soak it all in. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. Those are things. Come over, share. I'll pray. Me too, which I think is one of the best ones, and you're wonderful. Write them down. When you're not sure what to do for people, think of these words. Number one, you're wonderful. Number two, me too. Number three, I'll pray. Number four, I'll share. And number five, come over. They're not all possible, right? Some of us live across the country from one another. But one or two of those is always possible. Sometimes we feel like we're exhausted. We don't have time for people, right? I get it. I get what you're saying. But do you remember if you were those people at gym class that I talked about at the beginning? That you always felt like everybody was against you? You think you're one person and you can't make a difference. You can. And God says we should. God says yes. He says, be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer, share with the Lord's people who are in need, and practice hospitality. It will make you feel good to be a friend. Quit trying to be closed off. Quit acting like you don't need anybody. There may be certain people you don't need in your life. I get that. But there are other people that you do need in your life. So what I would say is, don't make it all about you today, even if you feel like it's all about you. When you see somebody struggling, why don't you reach out to them and tell them you're praying for them? I don't know. Get to the dollar store. Buy a bookmark. I'm always doing stuff like that. Like, let me just send this person something. Here's a book I had I'm done with. Let me send them a book. Let me do this. Let me do that. Hey, try to be better. Stop thinking about yourself all the time and reach out and hug on somebody else, even if it's virtually. This world is only going to be better if you choose to make it better. We have a new president in office, And whether you voted for him or not, just like we prayed for the last president, we need to pray for this one. We need to pray for our country. We need to pray for each other. We need to come together. And the next time you want to focus on, you know what amazes me with all this? Everybody thinks that this person or that person or this this candidate or that candidate, everybody acts like people in office are supposed to have never done any wrong. I got news for you. Them people in office, they probably done more wrong than any of the rest of us, right? They are the kings of being wrong about stuff. But does that mean that we don't want them to get it right? Because it affects all of us. Let's get back to being a nation that loves God. Let's get back to being a nation that is not so divided. If you don't want to love me because of the color of my skin or because I'm a woman or because of how I vote, that is on you. But I would be digging deep saying, seriously, we got families splitting up because of how they voted? What's wrong with you people? Since when? You know what makes this world go round? That everybody thinks differently. But we should always be able to come together and love one another no matter what. That's what it's about. Love, y'all. Love. Loving. Love like Jesus. Love like Jesus. And you know what he said? Love them even if you don't like them. That's hard. I have to love a lot of people from over there. We talk about that all the time, right? But be better. Be a friend. It's still January. Even if you've messed up for the last, 21 days? It's a new day. It's a new day. You had the opportunity to wake up today and do better. So be better. Do better. I believe in you. I do. I believe you can be better, but do I believe you're going to be perfect? No. But do better. Do better. And hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching the replay, whatever that looks like for you. I'm sorry it was late, and for those of you who couldn't wait any longer, I completely get it. Hopefully it will be better now when I do these and we'll be more on time. I'm going to learn the computer. I failed today miserably, but I'm going to get better. I'm going to. I promise. See you next time. Bye-bye.